welcome back to the next video. So the Lord gave me a couple of songs. I'm just gonna go through them today and see how quickly we go through them will determine how many I can get done in one day. So all right, here we go. The first one he gave me, which really ties into the message that I just released, was Aaliyah, Let Me Know. So, as we know, Let Me Know was originally sang by the Isley Brothers years ago. But Aaliyah did a remix of it in the late 2000s. No, not late 2000s, but the early 2000s, 90s, late 90s. That's what I meant to say. Late 90s, early 2000s. So, and I felt this was really in line with what we just talked about in relation to listening and hearing your God ordained spouse and not bringing up past things nor throwing things at them that because somebody in your past did something to you, you want to throw it on them and vice versa. So it takes that level of maturity to sit down and say, this bothers me. And the reason it bothers me is XYZ. So, and this song kind of brings out that understanding of how do I talk about these things, okay? So it starts out with the stanza of saying, let me know 5 times. So they're really just asking. And you, in the same way, are asking, please just let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know how I can talk about this. Let me know when I should talk about this. Let me know how we can handle this. Let's communicate on this. Let me know. Okay? So the next verse starts off with, when I feel what I feel. A lot of us have emotional wounds from previous relationships. And some of it's previous relationships. Some of us, it came from our parents. And because of that, we feel things. I've talked about this ever so slightly in the last video. One of the warfares the enemy comes at you with, mental and emotional. When you feel, I was listening to a great word. I just happened to have the radio on, and I was on 95.1, I believe it was. And on 95.1, there was a minister ministering to the fact of the matter of you can't allow your feelings to dictate to you your faith, because your feelings will feel like you're not in faith, but you actually will be. So you're going to feel things, but you can't allow those feelings to control and or impact or sabotage what it is that God's trying to do with you in this relationship. Sometimes it's hard to tell you so. It's hard at times, and it will be. Let's have a moment here. Some of you are going into relationships, especially those of you that are going into highly influential relationships. It may feel hard at times to sit down with your spouse and talk to them about certain things, because you're like, this is this guy. How can I sit with this guy and talk to him about this thing? Because we've all learned, well, Xerxes, you couldn't approach him. Esther had to wait till Elizabeth. We are not living in those times. If the guy brought you into his home and the guy is really open to listening to you, he's more than likely going to be open to you having a conversation. He's not going to be afraid to have a conversation with you, nor is he going to kick you out the house because of the fact that y'all wanted to have a communicative conversation and deal with things. And there will be things that you'll have to sit down there and have conversation about. It's like, Don't be disrespectful. Hello. But there's a level of, and I heard this from a man. I forget what his name is. I've been seeing his videos pop up pretty often. It's a male minister that says men want that woman that's not going to take their stuff. And they'll test you in that. And it's that element of, are you going to be this chick or are you going to be this chick? It's like, which would you rather me be? You want me to be hard on you and be like, look, this is what we not going to do? Or would you like me to be the calm little cornered Christian woman that says, blessed be to Jesus? Or you want me to be real with you? Which you want? Because some of these men want, please be real with me. It may hurt my feelings, but at least I know that you willing to be real with me. Now, some of y'all take far too much advantage in that, because some of y'all give an inch and y'all take a yard. Meaning, some of y'all will go in on these men. And it's like, oh, I can talk freely to these men. Don't forget your position. That still is the man that is the leader of your household. Yes, you can have conversations with them, and I'm pretty sure that they're not going to fold on you if you talk to them sternly about certain things. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that's why God put you there, because he needs you to deal with some of the issues. But some of y'all are going to have the beast as your spouse. That's why some of y'all needed to be praying right now, because y'all coming into the beast relationship with this person. Y'all need to be praying that beast out of them before you got to them, so that they will already be in the human form, not the beast. Some of you're coming in and you got Xerxes. I hated the way that they portray Xerxes. Xerxes always seemed kind of flim-flammy to me. I'm like, why you do that to Xerxes? They had him crying in the corner half the time. Ever watch that? Notice that. They kind of make him flim-flammy. In a couple different versions of how they make the story of Esther, they make Xerxes kind of wimpy. It's like, my man ain't wimpy. Yes, he's emotional, but he ain't wimpy. Not by a long shot. Don't take that for granted. He knows how to deal with his emotions. What now? Getting back to these lyrics. Sometimes it's hard to tell you so. You may not be in the mood to learn what you think you know. Some of these men have a viewpoint on the world because of the way that they've seen the world and an environment that they've lived in so consistently for a lengthy period of time, that they only see the world the way that they've viewpointed it, and they don't understand that some of those things is wrong because people have coaxed them, because as we know, the devil always lulls you to sleep. What was I reading? Was that this morning or was this last night? I don't remember. I was reading something that was talking about that in the scriptures. And because the enemy tries to lull you to sleep at all times. Because if he can get you to go to sleep on this, he will lead you astray every time. Because he needs you sleep. Because if you're asleep, he can easily lead you. And think about this. Let's take a moment to pause on this. What the enemy does is like a hypnosis tactic. He lulls you to sleep, and then once you are asleep, he begins to bombard you mentally. He begins to use, a form of programming. You know, you only need to hear something 21 times before it becomes fact to your mind. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be telling a complete fable, and if you hear it 21 times repetitively, your brain takes it as real. So guess what? If your God ordained spouse has been asleep for however many years your God ordained spouse has been spiritually asleep, lulled into a false sense of comfort because the environment they've been in said it's safe to be this way. Because of that, they are now need to unlearn everything that they learned previously. And you're going to have to come in and be able to tell them so, that this is not what you thought it was. Let me help you. Okay? So you got to be able to be mature enough to do that. So that they will unlearn what they think that they knew. Next, there are times when I find you want to keep yourself from me. These men, though they are coming in, though the Lord is giving them freedom to come to you, does not mean that they're going to openly open up to you immediately. We would love it to be that way, wouldn't we? We'd love for them to just be open. Some of us, we can't handle them being that open about all the stuff they've been through all at once. We're going to need them to go through it in time. But some things you're going to want to know and they're not going to be wanting to tell you. Some things you're going to come in and it's just they're going to be silent about that. Some things you're going to ask them about and they're not going to want to tell you, at least just not yet. Because, again, I say this, because we've been in this journey and because the Lord, depending on how long the Lord lets you know who your spouse is, you think you know this person. And you don't know this person. You only know what God told you about this person. You have not yet sat in the same space with this person for an extended period of time. Sit with yourself for a minute. But I'm with myself all the time. Look at the way that you act with yourself. If you are with them right now, I'm talking about your day-to-day activities, things that you think God don't see that you do about yourself, which you can do because of the fact that, oh, I'm not with nobody, ain't nobody in that intimate space with me, so maybe I don't do this as regularly as I should. Maybe I don't keep in habit with this as regularly as I should. Maybe I don't take care of these things as regularly as I should. Understand your day-to-day personal habits. There are certain things that when you get into their space, you gonna see about them that you're like, you do this? Oh my. And especially those of y'all that got influential people. Some of them, the influential people, you be like, oh my God, this is what you do on a day-to-day basis. Some of that stuff is going to shock you because, for one, if you're with an influential person, sometimes the influential person, the public persona and the person they are behind closed doors is two different people. For some, it isn't, meaning they are who they are when you see them on the street as they are in their house. Meaning they speak the same, they talk the same, they're open just as much with themselves. But that doesn't mean that personal characteristics of their personal personality that you're going to be seeing on a day-to-day basis when this person gets up every morning, how they deal with themselves in the morning, how they the order of their day, which you're going to have to learn as their wife in order to help them maintain it. Because I guarantee you, they don't want a wife that's going to be sitting there and make the organization that they feel that they've already created within their household. They don't want it to become harder. You're supposed to be the helpmate. You make it easier. Okay? So what let us hear is, don't keep yourself from me. When I don't have the strength, I'm just a mirror of what you see. Oh, there you go. I I should just sit on that one right there and let your mind go with that. Some of these days, these men aren't going to have the strength to come in the door because they've been out. They've been out in this world. They've been doing what they needed to do. And because of the impact of their presence, when they come home, they're tired. And they need to know that when they're coming home, this person is coming to relieve their exhaustion. That this is a person that is a safe place for them to rest their head because they're tired. They don't need to continue to have a level of persona about themselves when they come in their house. They need to be able to drop that at the door and be themselves. And you need to be able to receive them as themselves and be able to be what is necessary to get that person back to the level of strength so that they can just be themselves. Because half of them weren't even being themselves trying to get to that level. Okay? And they need the strength. And as well, some of us desire, and it's sad to say this, but you got to know what season you're in and what season they're in. Some seasons, you may not have the strength, but you're going to have to pull that strength up out of the spirit realm. Because guess what? God's giving you the strength to be with this person in the first place. You're going to have to pull the strength from him and be their strength in that moment. Because they might not be able to be the strength for you in that moment. Because they're worn out. So you nurse them back to health, and then maybe you can express what's necessary for you to get your strength back. They brain might not be there. Don't take offense to that. But this is supposed to be my husband. He's supposed to this. I went through all of this fighting and warring and spiritual fighting and all of this types of. I want to rest now too. We do. But you got to be able to give them what they need so that they can see that you're able to be there with them and for them. And then they'll be able to come out of their own head and be like, wow, you've done so much for me. What do you need? Then you rest your strength on them. Because yes, you are a mirror of one another. Spiritually, you are connected. Spiritually, if you know who your God-ordained spouse is, spiritually, y'all connected. Ever notice that you be frustrated for absolutely no reason and don't understand why? And you're like, God, where's this coming from? And God's like, aren't you praying for your spouse? Oh, they frustrated. Sometimes you be frustrated and they be wondering, I'm good today. Why am I frustrated? Because they're feeling your frustration. You're a mirror to one another. Yes. But at your best, you are loved. And it's not just at your best. You're going to love this person whether they're at their best or not. Some of us, we see what their best looks like or what is assumed to be their best from external observation. But at the same time, there's a level of they're going to see you at your best. But you're going to see them at their worst too. And they're going to see you at your worst. Don't let that be the only thing that they see of you, because that's going to make them think a little bit different about you if that's all they see is the worst, and vice versa. But you're supposed to be there to help them build themselves up, help them learn, help them become what's necessary for them to grow into being what it is that's necessary to carry the mantle fully that God wants to put upon them, for them to do what's necessary in the season that they've been called to with you. Because some of their positions are going to change. Some of the things that they're doing is not going to be the same. Some of the things that they're doing behind closed doors is not going to be the same. Because they're coming into it with you, and you're going to learn what they're doing, and they're going to learn what you're doing, and together you're going to be able to bring together what God needs you to do in the season that you're coming into. So you got to understand where you are, where they are, and so forth. And you're going to learn to build each other into each other's best. You may not be there right now. You might not. But you're going to become the best. You're a positive motivating force. You're a positive force. Even right now, the way that you pray for them, the way that you stand for them, the way that you seek for them, the way that you do the things that you do, spiritually, if they get any wisdom from that, they see that as a positive motivating force. For some of the things that I can't wait until I get with my God or day spouse, because there's things that I've heard him say from his own mouth, and I'm like, man, if I was there right now, I would be encouraging you. Because you are not that. I'm not even going to say. But yeah. Should you ever feel the need to wonder why, you're going to give them the solidity and clarity that is necessary to help them begin to maintain a level of growth with God and to feel more confident within themselves, more bolder in the places that they've been overthinking, because they will no longer have the need to wonder why, because they have you to become that will become a level of security for them. They know that anytime they need to discuss something, or they need clarity on something, or they're feeling a little bit lost, that you're going to give them the strength, the wisdom, the understanding necessary in order for them to get that not puffed up, because that's prideful, but that strength within themselves, that level of strength that feels more sturdy to them. You know what I'm saying? So that they can begin to walk in what it is that the Lord really needs, and it will be more solid. See, the problem that they may have had in previous relationships is a narcissist is never going to let you become more confident in yourself than they desire for you to be. They will allow you to get as comfortable as possible, confident as possible, but then they will begin to tear down what they built, because of the fact that they don't want you to get so confident that you will move away from them. So they will psychologically turn you just enough to keep you at a level that will keep them with you, because they can't have you outgrowing them. A narcissist will never let that. And if they feel that you've begun to outgrow them, that's when you start to see the narcissism come in, where they'll start to disrespect you and so on and so forth, because they can never have you move but for so far away from them, because they are literally leeching like a parasite off of you in every way possible. So they're not going to give you the solid clarification necessary so that you no longer need to wonder why. They never will. They will keep you double-minded, because they need you that way. Because if they feel that you're going a little bit too strong in your virtue and values, they're like, you going too far away over there. Come here, I gotta tell you something that's gonna bring you back down. You get too puffed up, let me bring you back down to my level. Or they gonna be a narcissist is going to have you be that person that's, they gonna act in a victim mentality, where they will they will puff you up and then bring you back down. So you got to be careful about that. And it's falsity about it. It's a level of people that operate with that spirit. It's a level of fakeness that is so prominent within that person. And if you paying attention and you got any level of discernment, you can determine fakeness from real, genuine care. But as soon as you see through that with that narcissistic person, they go from 0 to 165 temp. That's why with you, they're going to be able to understand they don't need to feel like, wait, is the other shoe going to drop? Wait, every time I got to this level before, wait, oh my God, wait, there's no need to wonder why. Because you're going to continue to support them. You're going to keep pushing them towards what it is. They're going to be able to spiritually grow. They're going to feel like the whole world is at their fingertips because of you. I was listening to a Live Jennings song yesterday, and it was talking about how you could be in the projects and feel like a mansion just because of the way that person talked to you. You can make that man feel like he's on cloud 9, that he can do absolutely anything because of the fact that they have no need to wonder about you, fear about you, because you're not out here operating like that. So let me know, because when you feel what you feel, oh, how hard for me to understand. Some of you, it's going to be hard to understand the way that they process their emotions. You got to learn them. And as you're learning them, you'll begin to understand better. So how many things have taken the least before this love affair begins? There are certain things that you're going to be able to express. It's in the little things. And it's those little things that are going to build upon the relationship that, and even her saying before this affair began, it's the things that the Lord has already implanted in both of you to prepare you even before you came into this relationship. Strategies, wisdom, understanding about them, understanding about their character, understanding little things, even before you ever came into covenant with one another, physically, in the same space. But if you feel, boy, like I feel, confusion can get weighted out. Now, that's an interesting statement, actually. Confusion can get weighted out. If God gives them clarity and God gives you clarity, there's things that God will give you in clarity to help them, and they will get clarity in relation to help you that will cut straight through any level of confusion that the enemy can bring in to cause a wedge or sabotage your relationship. It's another reason why the enemy doesn't want y'all together. So there are times when I felt sure of what I say, and I'm all about. This is what they may have been missing in their previous relationship. As I was saying previously, the person that they may have been in a relationship with before didn't allot them the ability to maintain a level of clarity that they could move forward in. That person only kept them at arm's reach, meaning you can move, but I'm going to keep you on this chain. My purse got a chain on it, but they going to keep you on like this chain. They're going to keep you on a chain. And they kept you on, like, they kept that person on a chain to a degree. Okay, you can move, and just for the amount of links of this train, I'm gonna let you move away from me. I'm gonna give you just enough confidence, just enough clarity, just enough. But if I see that you're moving too far away from me, or you're too confident in yourself, or you're too boisterous, or you too what, guess what? I'm gonna pull you back. I'm going to disrespect you. I'm going to pull you. Yeah, that's what that other person was doing. But we are going to give them the clarity they need, and they're going to give us the clarity that we need. Why? Because we pray to God and they pray to God as well. And as they're praying to God for certain clarity, God's going to have us speak it. And we might not even know that we're speaking the clarity that they need, because God gave it to us. He dropped it to us as part of conversation. Same thing. I've done it so many times to other people, and I was like, "Oh, that's what you needed to hear." You're like, "Oh my God, yes! Oh my God, you're giving me all the answers to the things that I need." I was like, "I just came in here to have a good time with y'all. What do you mean?" I'm just expressing what was in response to what you said. I didn't know. Same thing for them. You're going to clear up their confusion just by just talking to them. So, for there are times when I felt for sure what I say. You're going to give them that assurity that they need. So, and you're going to know, and they're going to know you're 100% legit about what you're about, and vice versa. But at your best, you are loved. A positive, motivating force in each other's lives. Should you ever feel the need to wonder why? The enemy holds people hostage to their own thought processes. This is what I was saying in the previous video, that sometimes we feel like we need to have answer all of my questions, because if you answer all of my questions, then I don't have to allow my mind to go through 15 different scenarios. If you give me the answer for one, I don't have to think about 15. They don't need to wonder, because you already let them know. If you have an alt with your brother, what? Take it to them. Let them know. Tell me what it is. I don't need to feel the need to make believe. You don't have to allow your mind to wander and run in any direction for whatever reason, and vice versa. And in conclusion, because at your best, you are love, a positive, motivating force within my life. Should you ever feel the need to wonder why, let me know. Please stay at your best. And that's the end of the lyrics. Until next time, bye-bye.